Pay up!
Now that's what I call wrestling. Hey there, sports fan. My name is Kit, and this is Now That's What I Call Wrestling, the good, bad wrestling show, the only YouTube wrestling show. And today we are continuing our chronicalization, our deep dive into the WWE. And of course, I am undoubtedly referring to the World Wrestling Empire. That's right, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1995 right now. If you're joining us for the first time, you don't even have to worry. There's plenty of videos you can go back and catch up on, but you don't even have to do that right now. You can do that later because I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm not going to hold your hand. I'm going to hold your heart and guide you as you give a reaction to the action.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a reaction to the action of the World Wrestling Empire! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm The Ledge with my co-host, Devlin Blanchard.
And basically, like we begin every show, they just run down every single... These shows are great because the opening of the show is telling you everything you're going to see, and then the last 5 minutes of the show are reminding you of everything you saw. So it's just top-tier choice programming. Listen, you have to assume your audience is stupid, okay? I mean, you can't allow them to just experience something and form an opinion or even form accessible memories about what they've watched. You have to guide them through, or else they'll never know. That's not how we do it on this show. We like to keep it a surprise. We like to not tell you anything that's going on. We just like to jump in. I equate this show to hiking all day, and the sun's going down, and it's you don't know how far away from your car you are. You've never been here before, and you come to the mouth of a cliff, and you have a choice to make. You can see down below that there's some very dark, very still, stagnant, spooky and ooky water. But you see that that's a shortcut to the parking lot. And you can either go back all the way you came, or you can take a chance on that water. This show's about taking a chance on that water.
Welcome to Devlin's Dungeon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm standing here with two men I personally can't stand.
Okay, so Shane Cortez had a very real and very terrifying neck injury happen just a couple of weeks ago. And shows up here in his Andy Kaufman neck brace. And look, all right, injuries are not funny. You know, people having to use an assistive device is understandable, and that's not something that is to be taken lightly. But I have to tell you that I don't know why, but someone in a neck brace, despite the fact that neck injuries are wildly serious, but someone in a neck brace is just something, since I was a child, I've always found to be inherently hilarious. My grandpa was a race car driver, and he had a very bad accident in like the 60s, right? That was back when like race cars were just like big metal ass cars. And so he wore a neck brace in the evenings because he probably broke his neck and just never had it fixed. I just thought it was the funniest thing. I don't know. I'm sorry about it.
You're done. It's something we've all been waiting to see. You're finally gone.
Look here, Mr. Devlin Blanchard, I want you to know something, and everybody out there, my career has not come to an end. I'll be back in the ring, the squared circle, and when
I can't wait for Shane Cortez to get back in the squared circle, because he is very popular. I'm not even making a joke. He's absolutely the most over babyface in the entire company. And frankly, I would say probably the best wrestler in the entire company. So what's bad news for Shane Cortez, which is this neck injury that's taking him out for a while, is good news if you're someone 30 years later on a thing called YouTube who's running a show about good, bad wrestling. Conspiracy? Yes.
Yeah, right.
When I do, I'm going to retain the WWE Middle-Light Heavyweight Champion.
How many names do we have for this belt? The WWE Mid-Light Heavyweight Championship. Is it okay? So maybe he was just ahead of his time. Like, it's the Light Heavyweight Championship, but like, it's kind of mid.
And anybody that wants to put their name on the line All they gotta do is sign it, and I'll be there.
I want to say, not making fun about people's different afflictions and addictions, but it does sound like the doctor gave Shane Cortez some of the good. Shane Cortez on the choline.
You Gomer, you drooling geek, freak of nature, turncoat, backstabbing Benedict Arnold Judas.
So that's the Atomic Playboy, and he was a referee. He refereed. It's a whole storyline where he refereed this match where Devlin Blanchard went against the actual referee, Doug McCoy, and lost, and then lost the stipulation where he had to become, and I didn't write this, okay? Devlin Blanchard had to become Doug McCoy's slave for a day, which is just the worst. And we've been hearing about this for weeks, and they finally show the footage now. But right now we're talking about Steve Hartley, the Atomic Playboy himself, who's now a manager, who is not a vampire, but does look like he's assistant to the regional vampire.
Because I got a few things to say. Number one is I owe a lot of people a lot of things.
Mostly the Internal Revenue Service and my ex-wife.
I also owe the board of directors for not canning me when they were supposed to. And above all, I owe those fans out there that watch this show and come out to these matches. I owe them big.
Though basically Steve Hartley, despite how he may seem, used to be a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah, that would slick back really nice.
Because you see, Blanchard, I've done a lot of dirty things in my life. A lot of those things were for you.
Do tell. Why is Shane Cortez still here? Shane Cortez is kind of calmly paying his respects to this altercation.
There's one person you owe above all else, Hartley, and that's me. I took you to the finest clubs, set you up with the finest women, the finest cars. You owe me.
So finest clubs, I would say Arby's. Finest women, I would say his sister or cousin. And finest cars, a Tercel.
If you can put a dollar amount on the things I've done for you, why don't you pay up right now? Come on.
He put the microphone down for the next part, so I bet nothing happens.
Pay up.
Man, brother had to go digging in his pocket for that when he came back so deep. He put that hand, his hand came back from another time zone, man. We call that the around the world wash rag. I love that they put the microphone on the desk, no doubt because the director of the show was like, look, dude, we've got like 2 of these, okay? And they cost like $85, so like you can't knock it around, so like set it down. And then it just falls off the table anyway.
How the hell you like that, Blanchard? Paid in full.
Who's paid in full, and when will we find out who it is? There's too many episodes of this. So the cool part about the wraparound here that we have afterward is they clearly shot the promo later or something, because they don't even mention the fact that Devlin Blanchard got slapped in the face by another dude. They just kind of talk about how Shane Cortez has a hurt neck. They seem weirdly proud that Shane Cortez has a legitimate injury, like that somehow makes it like, see, this is wrestling. This is real wrestling. Not real in the sense of like it's real, but real in the sense of like our guys get hurt too.
Tennessee Rebel stepping in the ring for singles competition tonight against one half of possibly the greatest tag team in the history of the World Wrestling Empire, this side of the Texas Outlaws, Predator.
In case you've never watched before and you don't know who From Singapore Predator is, first of all, I'm sorry, and also in a moment, you're welcome, because he's called From Singapore Predator because that's exactly what he is, okay? And he doesn't mess around.
This match has a 10-minute time limit. Standing 6 foot tall, weighing in at 260 pounds. He was trained in Singapore.
And for those of you that never doubted me, one more showcase of my strength. This is a 4-foot pool.
The thing I love about From Singapore Predator is, yes, he's dangerous with karate. Yes, his hands and feet and probably other parts of his body are registered weapons in many states and counties and municipalities. Yes, he wears very generic face paint, but he also dresses so comfy. He was on that work from home deal 30 years early. He's a karate gi from the waist up, his girlfriend's comfy nurse pants from the waist down. Why did he dress that way? Are you going to ask him? Are you going to ask him? I think that Tennessee Rebel sucks, and I'm basing that opinion on all the times that he's been on the show, and I've used my eyes and ears to attain the information necessary to formulate that opinion.
This is a man who called information to get the phone number for 911.
From Singapore Predator was on that Hot Topic shit long before all you. From Singapore Predator was on Gadzooks shit.
Anxious to see flamboyant Flamin' Raymond's camp back in the ring as Predator with a bolo forearm clubbing down on the Tennessee Rebel. He wraps over.
From Singapore Predator every once in a while will bust out some actual like fighting technique, like judo moves or something, and I don't know what to think about it. He's a mystery wrapped in an enigma. He's a mystery wrapped in an enigma. He's a mystery. He's mysterious.
Snapped him over out of the armbar. Beautiful move by the Predator. What a man. Admit it, Ledge.
Predator technically a foul.
Whoa, Predator just sprayed something in the eyes of Tennessee Rebel out of his mouth.
Okay, what? So, like, for no reason, 15 seconds into the match, out of nowhere, From Singapore Predator hits the poison mist. Normally, something like that is something that comes out of nowhere, like that, except later in the match, during a pivotal point in the match, maybe right before the end of the match. It's an illegal maneuver. You certainly can't spit poison mist into the face of your opponent directly in front of the referee. That's normally frowned upon. But here's the real deal. So we have to assume that From Singapore Predator has that special like gland that the great Muda has inside of his neck that creates that poison mist. That would make the poison mist not something that someone put in their mouth and spit at someone, but something that their body creates from a gland, which feels kind of like coming out your mouth.
What are you doing up? Oh my God! I'm sorry! I can't stop!
Poison misting.
From Singapore Predator, for sure, put that shit in his mouth backstage and was like, listen, I can't keep this in here very long. I'm afraid I'm going to swallow it. And this is so much food. The last time I swallowed this much food coloring, I went to the emergency room because I forgot I swallowed all that food coloring and thought that I was shitting out my intestines. That's a true story that I'm sure probably might have happened. So he put this stuff in his mouth and was like, listen, we've got 30, 40 seconds tops before I choke on this stuff, spit it out of anxiety, or swallow it. So we got to go with the mist first thing.
The man can't see. McCoy might as well end the match as an Irish whip off the ropes.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking that backdrop seemed a little wonky and weird, but it's about to make sense in a second, because if someone forgets the spot the first time, then try exactly the same immediately after.
On Rebel, there's a whip off the rope. Oh, Rebel going to go over with the sunset flip and a kick out on two by Predator. Good move by a Tennessee Rebel. You know, he's got some good ring sense, even though he's having a little...
From Singapore Predator's karate strikes are absolutely adorable. He's the chunky boy in karate class doing a sideways cartwheel, and I'm absolutely, it's why he's the most adorable wrestler that's ever happened, and it's why I have his face tattooed on my chest. You can't see it on here, but it's real.
There are several things being discussed right now as to what to do with the Outlaws on those tag team belts. In my opinion, we can't let it stand as it is.
Tennessee Rebel has mastered the wrestling your cousin on the trampoline offense for sure. Like the weird kind of nonsensical jump up to try to do something, but you accidentally end up just like putting your crotch in your cousin's face, and it gets weird for a second because he didn't mean to. And you're not going to talk about it and just go back to the cookout and pretend it's fine. I don't want to crochet the yarn of conspiracy here, but I will say I've never, ever heard them ever in all the episodes I've watched of this ever mention a match having a time limit. And they have said 4 to 5 times that this match has a 10-minute time limit. And as we know, From Singapore Predator does not like to lose matches. But whoever's booking these seems to not want him to win matches either. So we got to figure it out somehow.
Look at this. Rebel with a forearm. There's a bolo forearm.
That's like the second time Devlin's called something a bolo something. What does that even mean? A bolo forearm? Like a bolo tie? Like a Texan? Like he's like Colonel Sanders? I'll allow it. Can I get I heard KFC's having a BOGO on bolo.
I was listening to the radio the other day.
The jiggle elbow, man. Bring it back. Because here's the thing. If you do the jiggle elbow, your opponent doesn't know when it's coming. You can stand up and you can put your arm out and you could fall down regular. Or you can be a moving, you're not a moving target, but you're like whatever, you're a moving thing that hits a target. It didn't work out this time, but that's probably only like 80-90% of the time that happens. All right, so last week on WWE, it was mentioned that there was an altercation that took place on a radio show. And we never really got any details about that, but we finally get some details here, and we just need, I guess the best thing to do is just listen to Ledge explain it.
I was listening to the radio the other day, and Captain Rowdy, who is a guy I happen to know, and another gentleman named Bo Chase seemed to have a little bit of an argument going on with you guys. The next thing I know, a fight breaks out in the control room of a certain radio station in town. This was on Friday. And next Monday, Bo Chase is gone. You know, now I can't believe what's going on here. You guys got a very fine DJ fired. You know,
So basically what happened, I actually looked into it a little bit. I mentioned before that I didn't want to pay the paywall for Tulsa World to see their old newspaper articles. But then I found a way around the paywall, so now we got the info. So... yeah, apparently that DJ was fired, and it had nothing to do with the fact that whatever happened on the radio station with Devlin and Annihilator went on and got in an altercation. And they're basically setting up an angle. There's a comedian that was on there, Captain Rowdy or Uncle Rowdy or Captain Howdy. And apparently the radio station didn't know about it. It wasn't that what happened was real. It was just that the radio station wasn't happy that there was like an altercation on the air, fake or otherwise. And so they fired the DJ.
I did this when I was in radio. I was in radio for 10 years. I got fired from more stations than you've even listened to.
So I looked that up too, Devlin, who I believe is no longer with us. So I hate to speak ill of the dead, but I will speak ill of the dead. Devlin Blanchard likes to play this Howard Stern type shock jock character. He says he's throwing off all these radio stations. Well, I looked it up. It's on Tulsa World. And Devlin was the evening time host doing a metal radio show on a college radio station, apparently several years after he was of traditional college age. And he was fired from that radio station because the dudes on the metal show, which was like 8 to 1 a.m. or 10 to 1 a.m., I saw 2 different times listed. And this radio station, just for context, in the morning played Christian rock, in the afternoon played jazz, and then had something else in the early evening, and then in the late evening was the metal show. Well, the college radio station, the graduate student worker who ran it apparently couldn't wrangle these 30-plus-year-old men who were running the college metal radio show, and it got out of control. They were calling sex hotlines, like remember like 1-900 numbers or whatever. They were calling those. First of all, they were calling those like one-sided, like they were calling, you could just hear them. Then they started piping in the whole call through the board onto the whole radio, and they were really replicating like Howard Stern type content, or trying to, and they just got fired. Devlin got fired and blamed the radio station for not having control over him.
Both men kind of showing signs of wear and tear, taking a breather here. Predator running down the crowd. Tennessee Rebel slipping in from behind. There's a schoolboy roll-up. And the count of 2.
You can kind of feel that this one's headed toward a time limit draw because they're out of things to do, and neither one of them seem to have ever wrestled this long, and they're just kind of walking around hoping someone else will try something.
Watch him. Knee to the back, clamping down across the chin, bowing the head back. He knows what he is doing in that ring.
This match has a 10-minute time limit, so Predator's going to have to pick up the pace.
Hey, is there a 10-minute time limit? Is the time limit 10 minutes? From Singapore, Predator does look like he forgot half of his gym clothes, but he's going to work out anyway.
Oh, now we got Flamin' Raymond wandering up here.
I tell you, people, sit here and look at the skill of this man here in the ring.
Oh, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's a 10-minute time limit.
What are you doing, Vince?
Well, first of all, we saw how the sausage was made. We saw Ledge kind of arbitrarily ringing the bell. But off-camera end of the match for no good reason. While Flamin' Raymond, who just has perfect timing, just one of the great entertainers, one of the great geniuses of the entertainment business, coming over and talking on the microphone as the time limit's coming to an end. And I know what you're asking, did they actually wrestle for 10 minutes, and of course they didn't. It was 8 minutes and 7 seconds. You can't expect them to actually go the whole time, okay? 8 minutes and 7, that's like an 80%. That's a C. That's like it's almost a C plus. That's a C plus minus.
Find out how stock market advertising can work for your business. Call Navcom Video at 918-749-9447 and see your commercial here for as little as $60 per week.
We do have some more information. The commercials for World Wrestling Empire only cost $60 a week. Adjusted for inflation, that's $120 a week-ish, right?
Spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now.
Really?
The next bit does require a bit of a disclaimer. I mentioned that Devlin Blanchard lost a match with referee Doug McCoy, and the loser of the match had to become the other person's, quote, slave for a day, which is rough. That's not a good look. This next segment is ridiculously problematic, so we just have to rip the Band-Aid right off.
What do you do come to the front door? Service entrance is around the side.
Service entrance.
Yeah.
I'm not a servant.
You are today, so you take yourself around to the side, like the rest of my servants.
A couple things. That's wild. That's a wild thing to say. That's a wild thing to say with that accent. Also, sorry. It just is. And what are we doing? What are we doing? We're alluding to the worst parts of American and world history for a dumb wrestling show. I'm never a fan of any sort of pro wrestling scene or story that just kind of arbitrarily pulls from the worst or most painful parts of society and inserts them into a storyline for just no good reason. This is just frivolous. This is just ridiculous, which should surprise nobody.
All right, let's just get this over with. What do you want me to do first?
Well, I told you first, I want you to go put on your uniform for the day.
Boy, I get to dress like a sweet transvestite.
I understand that he's making a reference to Rocky Horror, but brother, here's the thing about this show. Someone will show up in my comments and take exception to the fact that I think that this is bullshit. And fine. I refuse to say, well, it was 30 years ago. Yes, this was 30 years ago, and people sucked shit 30 years ago. Sorry. They still do now.
Al, the vacuum cleaner right there.
I love the idea of Doug McCoy making an important phone call next to that ridiculously loud 1984 vacuum. Remember when vacuum cleaners had bags? That's crazy. I feel bad for anybody who owns stock in the vacuum bag industry, because you're ruined.
Get out of my face!
Go fix me a glass of coffee.
A glass of coffee? Bro wants a glass of coffee. I'm down with that. I drink a lot of coffee. I'll have a glass. I'll take a glass.
Catch this on tape.
Something about Devlin hitting the Hawk Tua into the coffee is especially disgusting. Not even that it's spit, but just watching him do it that close up.
Here you go, coffee, nice and hot. Drink up, it's good for you.
Well, you know, you're looking awful hot and tired from work you've been doing. I'm gonna give you a break and let you have a coffee.
Oh,
Go ahead.
No, I don't drink coffee. Go ahead. You have it. I don't drink coffee.
I want you to drink this coffee. Good.
First of all, he is chugging that hot coffee down, which that's totally an empty mug. But also, oh no, he has to drink his own spit that came from his own mouth. Oh no. Listen, it could be worse. It could be red mist mouth cum.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Huh?
Well, we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
This is your next job. I want it clean.
Clean? You want me to clean? You expect me, the prince, to clean a toilet?
Yeah.
With what? My hands?
No. I want you to clean it with this.
A toothbrush.
That's right.
Here's the thing. We don't kink shame on this show, but I got to point out, all this is getting really weird. It feels like maybe Doug McCoy just wants this dude to show up, wear a little maid outfit, vacuum his house poorly, spit in his own coffee and drink it, and now clean his own toilet with his own toothbrush so he can use it later after Devlin leaves. That's fine. Dude, to each their own. You're not hurting anybody. If that's the only way that you can excrete your red mist throat gland, do what you gotta do, man. Listen. We're doing a comedy bit here, right? This is supposed to be funny. Brother is straight up raw dog, like elbow deep in that toilet with a toothbrush. I have toilets in my house, and I've always had toilets in my house of some number. And sometimes those toilets need cleaned. I have never, ever had to stick my arm all the way up it.
McCoy, what do you want me to do with this?
Wash them.
Wash them. I don't do dishes. I've already shoved my hand down the throat of your toilet.
Wait. I've already shoved my hands down the throat of your toilet. So in Devlin's imagination, the part where everything goes down is the toilet's throat. So when Devlin uses the toilet, whatever he plops in there, he imagines is going down the throat of the toilet. I don't think I'm going to be able to red mist throat gland for a long time after this.
I have no idea. You have a good time.
Hey, I'll tell you what was not great. That.
From the edge of darkness, Night Stalker.
This man likes nobody that is not from the edge of darkness.
This man likes nobody that's not from the edge of darkness. This man likes nobody that's not from the edge of darkness. I think I need a 10-minute time limit to figure out if that's a double, triple, or quadruple negative. Night Stalker does look like he recently left his job as that weird frilly blanket on the back of your grandma's couch.
Bring on the weirdo, Ledge.
His opponent this evening, standing 6 foot tall, weighing in at 320 pounds, from Muleshoe, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Donk.
So one thing, if you didn't watch last week, is Uncle Donk. He's this kind of hillbilly character, and his whole deal is he grabs everybody's, like, not even their butt, but like it in it. He like pinches inside them. He reaches up their butt throat. Look, I'm not proud of it. I love Uncle Donk. I think he's wildly entertaining. I don't agree with his tactics and his methods and his I don't agree with how he gets the job done. But he's got me smiling.
This guy, Uncle Donk, is just awesome. Here we go. There's the bell.
I'll tell you what's awesome about Uncle Donk is this guy is fat.
There he goes.
Oh, here he goes again.
Yeah. I love this guy. I love it.
Here he goes again. You know what? There's one. Yeah, now go ahead. Do that to McCoy.
I love that this is the good guy, right? This is the crowd everyone's behind. The guy who's assaulting everybody. The crowd's like, finally, yes. Someone's coming around with little pinchy fingers and scratching that itch.
He's just a good old boy, and he likes to wrestle. Now, here's an interesting fact. Uncle Donk breeds and wrestles mules.
He breeds with mules?
No, he breeds mules. Uncle Donk's going to catch up to Night Stalker, and we got a great match going on there. There's a whip off the rope. Misses with the clothesline. Oh.
There you go. Whoa!
Uncle Donk throwing Japanese arm drags in 1995 Tulsa while not wearing shoes and shirtless and overalls is just, it's wild. If a million chimpanzees were typing on typewriters for infinity, how long would it take for them to write this?
There we go. Whip off the rope. Oh, sets him up. Got him in there. Good.
Donk caught him. Power slam.
Dude, Uncle Donk, like, I've never seen that move before or since. Uncle Donk coming up with, like, crazy Japanese Kings Road style finishers out of nowhere. This guy, again, butt assault aside, top tier.
Some awesome matches here tonight. Predator takes on the Tennessee Rebel to a time limit draw.
Okay, so one thing that we've had going on is a lot of fan letter talk. As we've covered extensively, Ledge made a proclamation that no one had ever done a moonsault before. A fan wrote in a letter saying that he was wrong, and Ledge lost his shit completely and made it a real example out of that guy on the air. So now Devlin wants to share a very real and actual letter that he received.
You know, I think somebody even wrote Devlin a letter, and I didn't even know the people you knew could write.
I got a piece of fan mail I'm going to go over real quick here. It says, Dear Devlin, after months of watching you on the World Wrestling Empire TV show and dreaming of you every night, I have realized that you are truly the sexiest man alive. Listen to this, Veg. You are handsome, intelligent, and entirely too sexy to be forced to sit next to the Ledge week after week.
Oh, please.
Now, let me bring this one on down. Woman says that Stallone, Brad Pitt, Van Damme, they're nothing next to me. She says, Devlin, I would give anything just to go out on a date with you. I'm going to make your dreams come true. The address you're going to see right here, write it. It's called Date with Devlin. Address it, Date with Devlin. Some lucky woman, if she looks worth anything and not fat and ugly like most of these oaky women, are going to get lucky enough to go on a date with a real man. Right, Date with Devlin.
To the bare essentials. When everything...
Clearly a letter that Devlin tore out of his own dream journal. They don't show the address on the screen when he says they're going to show it, and the tape cuts off when we go to some weird local news. Now that's what I call wrestling.
I'm thinking I might take that new chick from logistics. Things go well, I might be showing her my O face. Oh. You know what I'm talking about. Oh. Yeah, right. See you guys there.